everyone, welcome to another video. So I've been meaning to get this video out for a minute. I've been super busy with the newborn, but today I'm going to show you guys how to set up an altar, and we're going to talk a little bit about altars and the different types of altars, and I'll also be showing you how to set up a travel altar, or rather what a travel altar looks like. And so yeah, let's get right in. So part of having an altar is a lot of people will have an altar cloth. So right here with me. Oh, and by the way, this is a prosperity altar that I'm setting up right now. I don't really use my altars a lot like that anymore. A lot of them are kind of just for decoration at this point. I will every once in a while, one of my favorite energies is Lakshmi. So every once in a while, you know, I will meditate on Lakshmi in a very Tantra type way. So really it's invocation rather than evocation. So basically here I have, because Lakshmi pairs very well with Ganesh. So here I have a Ganesh, I don't even really know what the fuck to call this. I forget what it's called, but I got this off of Amazon. And it's just like, you know, symbolism for Ganesh. And I'm just gonna lay this out, kind of like this. I mean, you can really do it either way, because this is not the part that's really gonna be showing. So I'm gonna lay mine like that. And then here I have like a little green, it's really just a pillowcase. Like, you guys could really use what the fuck ever, because I mean, it's your mind, and that's what altar work is all about. It's just really affecting your subconscious mind. So, you know, we're not fucking religious nuts over here. We use altars for the purpose of just affecting our subconscious mind, and that's really it. You should get to the point where you don't necessarily need the altars anymore, where you can, altars are just so you can learn what it feels like to affect your subconscious mind, so you can learn like how this work feels, and, you know, boost your confidence in the shit, to let you know, like, you know, that you are beyond this, that you are all powerful. So here I have my cloth set out, and what I'm going to do now is I have some statues. So I place my statues on here. You could put them in whatever order you want. I'm a little extra, so my altars tend to be a little elaborate. You do not have to be as extra as me when it comes to altars. It's really as simple. You could have like a damn statue with a candle, and you're still gonna be able to, you know, meditate on that. But here I have Lakshmi, because that's my bitch. And right here I have Ganesh. So I place Ganesh to the side because, like, really my altar is mainly focusing on Lakshmi. So I want her to be the center of attention in this, you know, like she's like right there, bam. And then also, because I do not have a statue of Vishnu, I printed out a picture, and you guys really don't need statues. Honestly, you could print out a picture and it'll work just as well. But I think my picture of Vishnu is kind of broken up, so I'm gonna leave that off for now, and I'll just fix that later. Here I have some like offering cups, and I have 3 of them because I place like different you know, I place like different shit in there. And then I have like a little plate. Now with this plate, it's supposed to be a candle holder. Like I said, you guys can really get creative, because these are also candle holders, but I use them as cups. And you can like really just get creative with this. Like, I like to put wine in here, and stuff like that. Like, and this, I actually have some dried rose petals. And basically what I do with this, because Lakshmi is connected to like water and shit, so I just place some rose petals in there, and then I'm gonna take some water and pour it in like that. Like I told y'all, I'm fucking extra. You really don't have to be this extra like me. But then I like to sit her in the water because, you know, she comes from the waters. She comes out of that like milky, you know, substance. So that's what I do. And I just place her on there. I feel like it magnifies the energy. Water always magnifies the energy of altars to me. Especially when you're dealing with prosperity altars, because currency is water energy. And then I have a gold candle right here that I'm going to place right beside her. I also have like a gold $100 bill that I place right there. Now, one of the things that I got off of Amazon is this gold-plated Sri Yantra. Okay, this energy of this Lakshmi pairs with the Sri Yantra. And the Sri Yantra, if many of you guys do not know what the Sri Yantra is, the Sri Yantra is a yantra that is basically everything, like all energies, all deities, everything comes from the Sri Yantra. This is the mother of all the yantras. And I have a blog post on my Patreon describing the Sri Yantra and how you can use it. And the Sri Yantra, when you do Tantra work with Lakshmi, the Sri Yantra is good for you invoking the energy of pretty much any deity. Why it pairs well with Lakshmi is because in the most ancient of Hindu texts, Lakshmi is like the mother of all the other energies. So basically it is said, depending on, you know, which text you come across, that Lakshmi is the mother of all the other energies. So all other deities or Shaktis or whatever are just manifestations of Lakshmi. So here I have this. And then I have some pyramids. Now before I put my pyramids, I actually have a Selenite crystal that I kind of just place right here in back of the bowl of cups, or I can place it right here in front. I like it better like that. So selenite, it cleanses all the other crystals and it magnifies the energy of the crystals. It just keeps everything kind of like flowing in that way. I have some amethyst right here. I love the color of amethyst. Also, how amethyst connects to the third eye chakra. It also really is good for breaking like addictions to things. Why I place amethyst on prosperity altars is because I want the energy of abundance and prosperity in all ways, not just money, but it's kind of like breaking that addiction to the material world where you can manifest it more easily. Because if you are addicted to the material world, and if you're kind of like obsessed with that energy or desperate for that energy, it will not come to you. You will actually repel all things that are prosperous and abundant. So that's why I do with the amethyst. And also because it's just really good for opening up spiritual channels. Because prosperity is also about ideas too. You know, you get ideas for prosperity, ideas that come to you that can make you more abundant. It's not always about receiving monetary gains. It can also be an idea that leads to monetary gain. It could be an idea that leads for more spiritual awareness. So just be mindful of that, that prosperity is not always about the material. And then so I have this right here, which is a Orgonite Pyramid, which I also got off of Amazon. And it has amethyst in there with like some copper and stuff. So yeah, pyramids are really good for prosperous energy. Like you can create a vortex in your home. Like this altar I have set up, it's in the southeast corner of my house. And you want to be mindful. Like I'm not really big on like feng shui and shit like that. Like, it's my mind. My mind is fucking all. I could really place it wherever. This just made a convenient spot for this altar, so that's why I placed it there. But Orgonite pyramids get you some pyramids, or create. You know, you can do them your own if you're really, you know, creative like that. They have kits on Amazon where you can create your own Orgonites. There's, you know, a lot of people who sell Orgonites. So yeah, these pyramids are really for pulling in that energy and creating a like really high energy, high vibration vortex in your home. So I have that, this pyramid which has some citrine in it, and I'd like to place this one next to Ganesh because, you know, also I'm kind of big on like color scheme. I like things to look nice. Like, my altars are, of course, you know, you do work in there stuff. Me, not so much like that anymore, just because I've used the altars and I kind of feel like you want to get to the point where you don't heavily rely on your altars for work, because it's all coming from you anyways. So, you know, you don't want to heavily rely on altars. It's just to get you to a point where you don't need them anymore. I have some more selenite. And then this one is just like a glass. It's really just a glass pyramid. It's not crystal or anything, but I put it on here because I still like pyramids. So to get that energy like kind of flowing and stuff. And then also what you could do, like what I do is I like to sit my pyramid in the middle of the Sri Yantra and just pull that energy like it's, you know, high vibrating. And then also this, an obelisk, is pyramid energy too. So, you know, you're getting all the energy over here. Like, come on. And I got this off of Amazon because since Lakshmi is associated with the lotus and this is prosperity, I got a green little lotus off of Amazon. I'm just gonna sit that right in front of her like that. And yeah, so what I like to do with my altars to get the energy flowing even more is I place plants. Plant energy, because I do associate Lakshmi with fairy energy. I mean, obviously she's more than that, but she is also an element of fairy energy. So dealing with fairy energy, you want living things such as plants. The type of plants that I like, my bamboo is dying, y'all. I have to really take care of it more. Like I said, I haven't done altar work in a long time. So, but here is some bamboo that I have. I also, have some like money trees, which they're kind of out of my reach right now, so I'm gonna get them in a minute. So I have some money trees. Here, the money trees I gotta just place, you know, like that or whatever. Now I have a lot more that goes on this altar, but you know, I'm pretty sure you guys pretty much get the idea. Just like altar cloth, you know, some candles most definitely. Now with my prosperity altar, when I do work with my prosperity altar, I will have a gold candle, and then I also place a white candle, and I have them both burning at all times when I'm doing my work. Now there are things that I place on this altar that I'm not necessarily going to show because, you know, I have like some jarring things and stuff like that. And one thing with me about altars, if you are utilizing an altar, do not share your working altars. I mean, you can essentially do whatever the fuck you want, but this is for you. This is for your subconscious. Like, you wouldn't just let anybody in your damn house. So, you know, your altar is like a representation of that. Your house is a big ass altar. Your house is the ultimate altar that you have on the outside world. Your physical body is the true altar. Your physical body is the actual altar. Just like you wouldn't let anybody in your body, well, I would hope. Or, you know, you're being more conscious of what you put in your body, what you let in your body, what you let in your auric field. And it's kind of like the same thing with your altars. Like, be mindful of who you share your altars with, just because negative thought vibrations do affect our work. Even though we can protect ourselves and we do spiritual cleansings and shit like that, it still does affect your work. with negative, because we're all connected. So people throwing out their fucking negative vibrational energy towards you and stuff like that, just don't, keep your altars. Your altars is your babies. Just keep them sacred, and it's not for everybody. I'm sharing this because I do, this work, and part of my thing down here is to teach. So with that being said, yeah, this is like a stationary altar. This is what you would go to do your meditation, tantric work, depending on what you're trying to get. And all, everybody's altar is going to look different. People do ancestor altars. I don't. I'm not really into that shit. People do, like protection altars, which are really good. I have a couple of protection altars in my house. I don't obviously share those with anybody because, come on, they're for protection. And yeah, prosperity altars. There's so many different types of altars. Just get creative. Let it come from you. You don't follow everything. This is just a basic guideline, but utilize what comes from your own mind. Do what works for you. Do what feels right to you. If something don't feel right, don't do that shit. That's why I don't do ancestor altars, because it doesn't feel right to me. So just do what is natural to you. Do what you feel, and everything falls in line. So I'm going to come right back with the travel altar and show you a little bit what that looks like. Okay, so basically, here's like a little travel altar. And I just kind of threw something together. This is like literally like some, what is it called? Some of that paper, like, because I don't do travel altars, but I have before. So you would actually want this to be an altar cloth. And here I have some small statues. This is also prosperity travel altar. So here I have some small statues. This is Lakshmi. This is Ganesh. And then I have Amethyst. I have some quartz, little pyramid. I have just some little candles, tea-like candles, and a few crystals and a Merkaba. Now, when you do the travel altar, because not everyone has room for an altar, and then some people, like from truck drivers or, whatever the case is, whatever your situation is, you might not be able to set up an actual home altar. So this is a good alternative. You could just take the stuff out and do your work. So you would kind of just, wherever you are, and I just have it in like a little shoebox. You could put it in whatever type of box you want. Now, you would take it out, lay out your cloth, set it up however you would set it up. Just however you would set it up. And then you can do your work. And that is literally just really that simple, how a travel altar is set up. So you have your stationary altar, you have your travel altar, and ultimately, like I said, altar work is to get you to the point where you don't necessarily need it anymore. Or if you're using it from time to time, whatever the case is. But don't get so dependent on the altar work. Don't get so dependent on altars that you forget that you are the ultimate altar. You are. So that is the main point, is that you are the altar. And this is just working to help you get to understand the feel of things, how it feels to do this work, what correspondences are, to affect your subconscious mind. Now, Lakshmi is a good energy to use because not only does she boost self-confidence when you utilize that energy, it's Venusian energy. So when you're using that energy, not only does it boost self-confidence, it also helps you to realize that inner actualized potential, or that, I wouldn't even say potential, just like who you are beyond this shit. So And that's why I like using Lakshmi and Tantra practices where you're really meditating upon the energy as if you are that energy. You're invoking all the aspects of this deity. So with Lakshmi, you're invoking higher spiritual knowledge. You're invoking material wealth. You're invoking spiritual wealth. You're invoking self confidence. You're invoking beauty. All these things that you're invoking. Ganesh is like an opener. Ganesh would be the equivalent of Legba. So Ganesh is the opener. He opens the way. He sits at the root chakra, which is the opening for all the other chakras. So with that being said, I hope you guys can utilize some of this and do your altar work. Like I said, there's so many different altars that you could set up. Like, really, you can utilize anything to do this work. Whatever you feel, whatever comes to you. Now with the travel altar, you could also have like, some cup, like a little small little cup if you want, want to give offerings. And then that's the thing too, where you are at in your thing, because not everybody feels like giving altar offerings is something that they need to do, and that's completely fine, because like I said, all this comes from you anyways. Offerings are not a big deal. When you do tantra, you give offerings like food and stuff like that, but ultimately it's because it's feeding you. Like you're pouring that energy back into yourself. So just be mindful that wherever you are at in your journey, is how you're going to set up your altar. So if you're at the point where you feel like offerings are necessary, then that's fine. If you're at the point where you feel like, fuck the offerings, I'm just gonna, whatever, then that's fine. If you're doing away with altars altogether, that's fine too. You don't. This is everyone is on different paths. Everyone is at a different level in their journey. So just go with what feels right to you, and not necessarily what someone is telling you need to do. So yeah, so that's that for the altars, and catch you guys next time.